Why is it that the more we know, the more free we truly become? Is ignorance really bliss? We must ask ourselves this fundamental question. Or is the vague comfort we feel when we know nothing actually an invisible prison holding us back? It is a comfort that masks a lack of agency. The history of humanity is a vast record showing exactly how knowledge has liberated the human spirit across centuries of struggle and growth. In the Middle Ages, information was a privilege reserved for the few, leaving the masses in darkness and dependent on the interpretations of others. Without knowledge, people were easily dominated by power, their environment, and their own deep-seated fears that kept them from acting freely. Everything changed with the printing press. As knowledge spread, people began to think for themselves and challenge the status quo of their era. This newfound ability to judge and reason became the catalyst for transforming the very structure of society into something more equitable. The Enlightenment era popularized the idea that humans could liberate themselves through the power of reason and systematic inquiry into the world. Immanuel Kant famously urged us to have the courage to use our own understanding, defining enlightenment as man's emergence from immaturity. He emphasized that knowledge is not just information, it is the essential condition for being truly free in both thought and action. Ultimately, knowledge is the force that allows us to escape external control and steer our own lives toward our chosen destinations. It acts as a key factor in determining the direction of not only individual lives, but also entire societies in their pursuit of progress. Here, we uncover a crucial insight. Knowledge makes us free because it expands our range of choices and reveals paths we never knew existed. We often mistake freedom for simply having nothing to do, but true freedom is something far deeper than mere idleness or lack of responsibility. Real freedom stems from the ability to understand multiple options and consciously choose between them based on one's own internal values. When we lack knowledge, we lack the criteria to make a choice, forcing us to rely on the opinions or directions of others. This dependency on external judgment acts as an invisible constraint, preventing us from ever being truly independent or self-governing. Conversely, the more we know, the more we recognize possibilities that were previously hidden, allowing us to see a world of potential. Within those possibilities, we gain the power to select the specific path that truly resonates with our personal goals and vision for the future. Therefore, knowledge isn't just about facts, it's about reclaiming the initiative in your own life and becoming the master of your own fate. This process of regaining control over your decisions is the very essence of what it means to be a free and autonomous human being. Let's examine this through a concrete example, the world of finance and personal investment, where knowledge translates into power. Consider someone with zero financial knowledge who decides to invest their hard-earned money without understanding the principles of the market. They end up relying on the words of others or emotional reactions, making them vulnerable to every whim and whisper of the crowd. In this case, while they may think they are making a choice, they lack the actual freedom to decide because they aren't acting on understanding. Without understanding the market flow, they are effectively trapped by their own lack of information, unable to navigate toward a secure future. Now, compare this to an investor who has taken the time to gain deep financial literacy and understands the mechanics of wealth creation. This person can analyze risks, compare different strategies, and make a decision suited to their own unique situation and objectives. This is the moment when choice becomes truly meaningful and freedom becomes a reality through the application of sound reasoning. We see a similar phenomenon in the field of education and lifelong learning, where knowledge acts as a gateway to new life experiences. Those with a broad range of knowledge across various fields find their career options expanded and their potential for growth enhanced. They are able to respond more flexibly to a rapidly changing world and professional demands that require constant adaptation. All these examples prove that knowledge is far more than just data. It is a power that changes behavior and transforms our interaction with reality. It fundamentally transforms the way we act and the choices we make every day, leading us toward a life of greater purpose. To summarize our core message, knowledge makes us free by providing direction and criteria for every decision we face. While ignorance might feel like a comfortable bed, it subtly forces us to depend on others' judgments and gives away our power. This reliance is an invisible constraint that prevents us from truly steering our own destiny and becoming the architects of our own lives. In contrast, knowledge often brings a certain level of discomfort and intellectual effort as we grapple with challenging ideas. Yet, through that very discomfort, we gain the strength to think and choose for ourselves, building a character of resilience. Freedom is not a state of knowing nothing. It is a state of understanding more and deciding better with every passing moment. From this perspective, knowledge is the most powerful tool we have to achieve true liberation and break free from ignorance. Through this content, we can experience 3 fundamental shifts in our perspective on freedom and the role learning plays in our lives. First, we stop seeing knowledge as just a collection of facts and start seeing it as a tool to expand our freedom. Second, we strengthen our ability to set our own criteria for success instead of blindly following the values of others. And third, we gain the confidence to set our own course even in the most uncertain and unpredictable situations life presents. Ignorance might feel like a comfortable bed, but staying there for too long makes you lose your strength to walk alone. Knowledge may feel like an uncomfortable chair at first, but it gives you the height to see the whole world. So, do not choose the temporary comfort of ignorance. Instead, choose the profound and lasting liberation of knowledge. Remember, true freedom is a luxury that is only permitted to the extent that you are willing to know the world. And the most amazing part is that this luxury can begin with the simple act of reading just one book. To gain even deeper insights through the humanities with Dr. jJongmoon Co., please subscribe and like our channel for more thought-provoking content. Your support helps us continue to nourish your soul with wisdom, intellectual growth, and a deeper understanding of the human condition and our future. I hope that only good things, profound wisdom, and the light of true freedom will always follow you on your journey through life. Let's dive deeper into the wisdom of the past to understand our present freedom more clearly and build a better world for everyone. Kant's philosophy wasn't just abstract theory. It was a practical and urgent call to intellectual independence and moral responsibility in a changing world. In our modern era, we are often overwhelmed with data, but we must remember that data is not the same as true knowledge. Knowledge is the refined essence of information that has been carefully processed through our own reasoning and critical thinking abilities. With knowledge comes the burden of choice, which can sometimes feel heavier and more demanding than the simple comfort of ignorance. But this weight is the necessary and noble price of a life that is truly and authentically our own to live and enjoy. When we understand the underlying principles of any system, we gain the ability to navigate it with confidence and strategic foresight. This navigation is the practical application of freedom in our complex, interconnected, and often confusing modern world of global challenges. Lifelong learning provides the agility needed to stay free and relevant in a world of constant technological and social disruption and change. The more we know, the less likely we are to be broken by changes that are beyond our control or understanding in our lives. By building our own internal criteria, we become immune to the whims of popular opinion and the pressures of external social forces. This internal strength is the cornerstone of a free, resilient, and intellectually independent individual who can stand firm in any storm. The journey of understanding is a lifelong pursuit that constantly pushes back the walls of our prison and opens new doors of opportunity. Each new thing we learn is a step toward a broader, more magnificent, and more profound view of our place in the universe. Choosing knowledge is an act of supreme courage that we must reaffirm and recommit to every single day of our conscious lives. It is the flame that keeps the darkness of ignorance and dependency at bay forever, lighting our path toward a brighter future. So, take that step today. Open a book, ask a question, and start your journey to true freedom and intellectual independence right now. This insightful journey was brought to you by Dr. jJongmoon Co., also known as James Co. Reach out to us at k90391398@gmail.com today. Follow the conversation with our official hashtags, Knowledge and Freedom, Humanities Insight, and Self-Development. Let's grow together in wisdom and understanding, expanding thought, the power of learning, and constant personal growth. Join our growing community of lifelong learners and thinkers today. For more information, search for the importance of knowledge, the relationship between freedom and learning, and Kant's profound Enlightenment philosophy in depth. Discover more on self-development methods, critical thinking expansion, and the ultimate freedom of choice. Thank you for watching, and may you remain free.